Hello and welcome everyone to the latest episode of the Reverse Sweep Show. As ever, this is your host SS. Joining me as ever is my co-host AB. We have wrapped up with IPL, RCB doing the unthinkable. I'm eating the humblest of pies, but I don't want to talk too much about it. Pass it to you, AB. What are your thoughts and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, watching RCB win the IPL after 17 seasons. Was the 18th season. I think it was kind of written in the stars for Kohli, jersey number 18, season number 18. But anyways, moving on from the IPL, we have a very interesting Test season coming up with the World Test Championship and then later on the India Series of England. So really looking forward to that. How about you, SS? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, it was quite an interesting juncture in cricket. You had the IPL going on. You had England and West Indies playing white ball games after the one-off test versus Zimbabwe. And then we have got the full-fledged test season coming through, the WTC final, India touring England, and that's why they are preparing by playing a couple of games against England Lions. So it's like a multi-format mini season going around. And we thought to do some content, especially considering the Dynasty episodes we have been doing, focusing on test cricket. So for the listeners and viewers, what have we in store for them today, AB?
Yeah, you mentioned it. The cricketing calendars are shifting, the cricketing seasons are shifting from Asia to Europe. And with that, we are also shifting our focus. We have been talking a lot about the dynasties of the past. Now we are shifting our focus to a potential dynasty of the future. So the topic for today is creating a hypothetical 11. What would an all format cricketing dynasty look like in the next 10 years? So SS, over to you. What's the approach? What are the constraints that we will look at when we are creating the team?
Yeah, for the OG listeners and viewers of Reverse Sweep Show, they know how we go about this exercise. We have our set constraints and some principles that we look. And we have done a similar episode actually in season one where we focused on creating the team for the decade, but focusing on test matches. But this time we are going multi-format. And this is going to be quite an interesting exercise. It was quite interesting to think about the players. But in terms of constraints, of course, we are looking at players who can play for the next 10, 12 years. In order to make a dynasty, you need to be dominant for that long. So players in the sweet spot of less than 27, 28 years of age. Of course, we allow some wild picks because, sports science and the fitness, people can play till late now. We're also looking for people who have played multi-format, shown some kind of sample size of performance, have shown interest in playing the red ball game as well as white ball game, and there is some body of work essentially. We don't want players who have retired from a certain format. Quite surprised with Klaasen's retirement actually. But yeah, those are, let's say, the constraints that we are thinking along. But of course, there are principles of making a squad on a team like this. So, AB, what are your principles when you think about creating a multi-format 11?
Yeah, so when I'm creating a multi-format 11, I want to have players who can adapt to different positions in the team or different formats easily. So I don't want a player who can only say bat at number 3 or number 4 for me. I want a player who can, in a particular format, come up the order, bat at 3 in test matches, can also come down the order and bat at 5, or vice versa. I want players who are more multidimensional that ways. Then I'm also very keen on looking at the skill levels of the players. And you mentioned about the body of work, and I am particularly interested in looking at what they have been able to achieve in international cricket so far across formats, but also whether that is their skill ceiling. Have we seen the best of what they can deliver on the international stage, or is there still some way to go? So that is another thing which I'm looking at. Another thing, and we have spoken about it at length in the previous episodes, is basically a key component of a dynasty is the leadership uh, that is instilled into the team, or the culture that is created, the ethos of the team which is created. So I'm looking at players who can help me create that element around the team culture, who can bring in that leadership acumen, can be a potential captain or vice captain candidate. So that is another thing which I'm looking at. Anything else, SS, that you are particularly keen on looking at when you are creating your hypothetical 11?
Yeah, before I come there, you make very interesting points, and I think a nice way to look at this is indications from their junior career. If they've been given captaincy role, if they have played marquee finals in under 19 level, or have already shown some kind of a small yet impactful roles in a big IPL final or later stages of a test match, I think that gives us a really good indication, even though they might not have played that many ODIs or T20Is, for example. You spoke about some green flags. I will speak about some red flags. I think fitness concerns, I think, is something that we have to be aware of. Too much cricket happening. There are always examples of players across sports who have shown so much potential, but some off-field behavior, not keeping themselves fit, some unfortunate accident, and things can happen. So I want to take note of that as well. And also, I would be wary of picking players from countries where there is a lack of systemic support or you feel that there is some kind of entropy going around. For lack of a better example, West Indies, South Africa, contract disputes. I mean, things can improve, definitely. It could be macroeconomy as well, which we like talking about on this podcast. I mean, people can move around. They might choose franchise cricket. So there could be some red flags if there is a case where I have to compare player A versus player B. I might look at these factors as well. But now, since we have set up with principles, the green flags, the red flags, I think we dive straight into it. We start off with openers. Who have you got, AB?
For me, this was probably the easiest pick in my entire lineup. So my openers are both Indians. I go with Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill. So Yashasvi Jaiswal, we have seen what he can do in Test cricket. Has also proved his potential in the limited overs format. Not as much at the international level, but we have also seen his caliber, his potential in IPL. And plus, when I was talking about that, what have they achieved till now, and plus, what is their skill ceiling? I think there's still a long way to go when we talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal. The best is something that we will see in the coming years. And he has also shown with all the dedication that he has. We have seen how he has worked on his physique. He has a very good temperament about the game. He wants to improve, and so I feel there's a long way to go for Yashasvi Jaiswal, and so he is an absolute no-brainer in my team. The next player is Shubman Gill. Again, for the same reasons, the apparent prince of Indian cricket. We will see how he fares with the captaincy hat, but again, technically fairly strong, and we have seen him perform well in ODIs. Still some way to go in terms of T20I performance, in terms of test performance, but definitely I think he has the skill set to prove himself there. So I go with Yashasvi and Shubman right and left combination. What about you, SS? Who are your openers?
These are boring vanilla picks, which anyone who follows the cricket as a casual fan would pick. And those were actually originally my two picks as well. But then I wanted to spice things up. But yeah, Yashasvi Jaiswal for me is a complete no-brainer. I mean, he was the only one who was playing superbly well, even in Down Under. I mean, they just made a team of the BGT team, and he was one of the two Indians there as part of that team as well. Uh, he's done pretty well for Rajasthan Royals as well, even though I will not say the last two seasons have been really up to this, like the mark we expect, but still very solid. And I think it's a matter of time where he makes his place his own in ODI cricket as well. I think left arm, left hand as well, and he's shown a body of work from his junior days as well. So Yashasvi Jaiswal for sure. Shubman Gill would have been a shoe-in for everyone. And if you talk couple of years back, also he would have been a shoe-in. He's the prince of world cricket, I will say. And now he's done pretty well for GT, showing great performances in T20s. In fact, I was just checking T20Is as well, even though he doesn't have those impactful performances, he has a strike rate of 140. I think it's a test cricket. I sometimes question him. I think he's played 35 test matches now. I think he only has 100 runs more than Jaiswal, which is a bit surprising considering he's played much more games against him, shown some susceptibility against balls coming in. There's a compilation if you want to, watch of Shubman Gill getting bowled between his bat and fat. So I'm doing a spicy takeover here. I'm chucking Gill. Controversial shout maybe for some. My second opener is going to be Rachin Ravindra. Hasn't opened a lot in Test cricket. Has opened for franchise for CSK. He has shown great amount of aptitude when it comes to all formats of the game. Can bowl spin for me, so it gives me that option. He's a good leadership contender as well. So Jaiswal and Rachin Ravindra for me, which might be a bit controversial, but I think I have a good feeling for this one.
Does that mean you are very pessimistic about India's campaign in England?
Yes,
dropping the
I
captain.
am, but I'm sure we will have a separate episode on that.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel Rachin Ravindra is a good pick because he's an excellent player of spin. So you have strong players even for the subcontinental conditions.
And he has a better average than Shubman Gill in Test cricket, but I think he's a bit underperformed in T20 eyes. But I think the class player he is, if I want an anchor, he could be the anchor in T20 eyes for me.
Fair enough. Now, moving to the middle order, I think I am now also starting to look at how these players would fare across formats, not just test matches, but also the white ball format, even the T20I format. So I'm definitely looking at solid technique, but also that firepower. So the three players that I go with and who bat at number three, four, and five for me, number three is Tristan Stubbs, number four is Harry Brook, and number five is Rachin Ravindra. The reason for that is Tristan Stubbs, again, is a solid batter and can strike and has that firepower. So, and plus, we have also seen him play for South Africa. He can bat across the batting order. So, he gives me that flexibility. And so, I pick him. Harry Brook, he is, I think, one of those players who is in contention of the next big four when we talk about it after the Kohli, Smith, Williamson era. I think the next big four, Harry Brook finds himself there, has had an amazing start to his test career. He's slightly untested in the subcontinental conditions, I feel. That is something that we will see going forward, how he fares in this part of the world. But overall, I think he walks into any team for the next decade. Number five for me is Rachin Ravindra. One thing which strikes out for me when I talk about Rachin Ravindra, in addition to all the parts that you spoke about, SS, is that he's a big match player. So we have seen him perform in ICC tournaments, and I think these are the kind of tournaments that bring out the best in him. And that's also the reason why I want him in my middle order because my top order is very strong. I want someone with that temperament, with that ability to maneuver around those tricky phases of the match. So I have Rachin Ravindra batting at number five for me. Now over to you. What's your middle order?
Quite solid picks, AB. I think we already picked Ravindra in middle order, which is his natural position, so we agree on that one. For me, there's an English flavor to my middle order, 3-4-5. Three, I've gone with someone who debuted playing at three, but normally doesn't play in that position for his county Warwickshire. But Jacob Bethell, I think, spoken a lot. In that test match he played in the second innings, he made the joint fastest 50 for an English batsman. Picked up by RCB as well. We saw some spark in the IPL, and I think he's got a big role coming in the summer. Can bowl spin as well as a left armer. So he does provide. And I remember Ian Bell's interview some time back when he said he's the most impressive 17-year-old he has seen. So there's a lot riding on him.
I see
So
SS dropping Indians and bringing in that English flavor. I
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
where you're going for this summer.
Yeah. So Jacob Bethel for me at three, and yeah, maybe that's a hint of where my predictions will lie for England versus India as well. Four is someone I completely agree with you. He's also the captain of my team. Harry Brook has already shown across formats, even in the West Indies games as well. He was showing that amazing form. He's done pretty well in Pakistan as well. So even on those flat subcontinent, which is he's already shown, it's about. It was unfortunate he couldn't travel to India, but I'm pretty sure he has 4 or 5 tours of India left in him. He's going to play a long time for England, and he's the captain as well. No doubts there. For five, I wanted someone who can dominate as well, but can steady as well. So I was taking a bit of inspiration from Travis Head as a modern number five. And Tristan Stubbs, I'm a big proponent of him, big fan. But I think when it comes to Test cricket, Kamindu Mendis's insane run that he has had, I think he still averages above 60. He hasn't shown that much in T20, but I think he has the body of work to show he's quite young. I think 25, 26. Next 10 years, I think he's a premier Sri Lankan batsman. He's going to only get better. And I think Sri Lanka is going to rely on him. He's going to play big matches for them, and he's going to win some matches for them. I really like his batting. He's ambidextrous as well, can bowl a bit as well, which I also like considering it's a multi-format team. So come into Mendes for me, and I think he's going to only get better in white ball cricket as well.
Interesting picks, SS. I think specifically with respect to Comindo Mendes, I remember we used to have these stats right almost a year back when we were like thinking about the podcast around who the next big four would be, and Comindo Mendes. We spoke about him,
Yeah,
but somehow I feel he's one of those players we have seen very little of, and there's
yeah.
so much more that the world cricket will see in the coming years.
Right. It can either go really good for him or really bust that he had like one or two great seasons and then he went away. But I think we have seen enough, at least from Test cricket, hardest format of the game, and he has done exceedingly well.
Okay, so moving on, I think I need a wicket keeper in my team now. And honestly, I was looking around, like Hendrik Klaasen might have been an option for me, but he's now retiring from some formats. So I go with the safer option of Rishabh Pant. I don't want any vanilla digs from your side, SS, but Rishabh Pant, definitely we know what he can do in Test cricket. ODIs, we have again seen him play some match-winning innings, but he has struggled to find his place in the limited overs format for Indian team. But I think he definitely has that caliber, uh, at least amongst all the younger wicket keepers that we have seen. He definitely has a caliber and potential to walk into the team for the next decade for me.
I mean, that's as vanilla pick as you could have made, Rishabh Pant. It's rather unfair that when we are creating the team for the next decade, a player who has been playing for a good part of 7, 8 years is now making the team. But Rishabh Pant started off young. He's only, I think, he's still 27 or something, so he has plenty of cricket to go. I decide not to pick him. Shock news, breaking news for everyone. But I think he will give up wicket keeping very soon. I don't think he was his absolute best at BGT when it came to keeping. He will be excellent batter. Maybe coming as an LSG fan, I was quite disappointed with him. 27 crores spent on him and performed in only one game at the fag end. Maybe that's a little bias as well. But I think even though there's a drought of such exceptionally gifted wicketkeeper batsmen out there, and not just because I'm making a wild pick. I think Rishabh Pant might become like a one or two format players in the next 3, 4 years, maybe. And might all give up keeping. And if he gives up keeping as a pure batter, he can still make it, but I still need a keeper in my team. And that's why I'm going to go with Jamie Smith. Again, one of the English flavored picks that I have gone, but also just like Jacob Bethell, very widely touted from the domestic scenes in England, well hyped as well, and he's already shown glimpses of how what he can do. And I think he has already overtaken Folks as well, who is an exceptional gloveman. So I think he's going to be there for a long time. Unfortunately, Inglis and Carey are both on the wrong side of the age criteria that we had. Otherwise, I would have looked at them. So Jamie Smith for me as my number 6 as my wicket keeper. But
Interesting pick. I think Jamie Smith is one of the most underrated. I mean, he's one of the most talked about players. Whenever you go around the English circles, I think he's one of the most spoken about players, young and upcoming player. And he has actually replaced some really strong players in the English team. Joss Butler, Johnny Bairstow could have kept.
Folks as
So
well, Ben Folks.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So if he's walking in that team, a regular fixture at that age, then the team management would have seen something really special in him.
Yeah. Let me go to the next pick, which is the all-rounder. I looked at Cameron Green. I looked at Bio Webster, again on the wrong side of 30. Nitish Kumar Reddy as well. But I've gone with a wild pick. Somebody was voted Best ODI Player of 2024 by the ICC. Matullah Omarzai, exceptionally gifted cricketer, bowls fast medium, makes a lot of runs. I saw him in the World Cup in the ODI when he was really solid for Afghanistan. He's done pretty well in the IPL as well. And I think for the next 10 years, if Afghanistan continues to play Test cricket, he will do well, but he will be like one of the linchpins along with Rashid Khan. Really impressed by him. Cameron Green, I decided not to pick because of his injury record. I think he's far too susceptible for that, and I could not find a better replacement. So Omar Zai for me.
For me, I went the Cameron Green route. Again, you might say it's a vanilla
Vanilla.
pick, but honestly, I feel Cameron Green is one of those players who are the rarest breed in world cricket right now. You probably have Cameron Green, Hardik Pandya as the elite pace bowling all rounders, and these are players you cannot say that they are batting all rounders or bowling all rounders because
They're
they
all rounders.
pure all rounders, and so few of them going around in world cricket that if I have to create a team for the next 1 decade, I have to pick Cameron Green. I have to uh, gamble with him. If you say he has injury concerns, but then I want to go ahead with him. So he's the all rounder for me, and bats at number 7. Now coming to the bowlers, SS, who are your bowling picks?
I'll start off with the spinner. Since we are creating multi-format, I just didn't want to focus on picking 20 wickets. Of course, that's the most important thing in Test cricket, but I also wanted runs and I wanted fast runs, who has done it on all stages. I looked at a lot of spin bowling options. They were not standing out actually for me too much. So I looked at Washington Sundar, who has done it at the Gabba, but has done pretty well in T20 eyes and as well as in ODI cricket. I'm sure he will get more test bowling chances as well. Even though he's an off spinner, it doesn't turn a ball, which is not my personal. I don't personally like that, but I think the kind of again the aptitude he has shown at international cricket and the kind of thinking cricketer he is, I think Washington Sundar as a bowler, as a spin bowler in my team would work very well, and that's my spinner.
Are you going ahead with Gautam Gambhir as the coach, SS?
Maybe we'll find out. We'll find out. I did not pick Nitish Reddy for a change.
Fair enough. So for me, the spinner for me has to be Rashid Khan. So since you're talking about all formats, of course, him playing for Afghanistan, we haven't seen a lot of him in red ball format, but from what we know, he's absolute class, absolute quality. So across formats, if I have to pick one spinner in world cricket right now who also fits our age criteria, then that has to be
We
Rashid
don't
Khan.
know about Rashid Khan's age, but I will give it to you. Maybe he's 33.
We go by the records, SS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now off to the pacers. Who are your pace bowlers?
Yeah, so I wanted to have a nice variety, swing conditions, seam friendly wickets, but also bowling in Asia, up the order, at the death as well. I think these are the hardest pick. How can you balance all these requirements in three bowlers, essentially? So wanted a bit of variety and have proven records in different conditions and have done well both in Sena and non-Sena conditions. Marco Jansen always makes the cut somehow. He's tall, he can seam, he can do a bit of swing, he can get bounce, he can bat, and that's why, because of so many tools in his set, even though you will not say that one of his tools is the absolute best in the world, but just because the variety he brings, Marco Jansen makes my team. Naseem Shah, I think, is one of the most talented Asian speedsters around, has been playing international cricket for good 4 years, 5 years. I think he debuted at 17. He's shown around the world he can pick wickets, he can bowl the tough overs, he can bowl in Asia a lot. I think Naseem Shah, and he can slog as well, can hit a couple of big sixes as well. So Naseem Shah. 11th player in my team, which is my third fast bowler, I was looking at different options, some young English seamers that are coming through. Looking at Jaden Seals, big fan of him, 23 years old, and he's the one West Indian cricketer who is prioritizing Test cricket a lot. But as I said, with West Indies, I don't know whether they will play long format game for long because of the contractual thing and the financial situation. So I picked Will O'Rourke. I know even the New Zealand players at some point of time do pick franchise contracts and all, but I think Will O'Rourke seems like a very sorted and sensible guy. He's tall again, good action, and has already played test matches in both New Zealand as well as away. I think he did pretty well in the Champions Trophy as well. I like him.
I think even in the Test series in India, he performed really well.
Very well, very well. Did a really good support job as well. I think Will O'Rourke for me is my third pacer. So Jansen, Naseem Shah, and Will O'Rourke.
Interesting. So I have two common picks. SS. Number 8 for me is Marco Jansen, and number 11 for me is Naseem Shah. And number 10 for me is a different pace bowler. And again, since you were talking so much about the English flavor, I bring in that English flavor. I have Gus Atkinson at number 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's a regular feature in the English side right now and can also bat. Apparently, he has a Test century to his name already
Mm-hmm.
in the international format. So, if one, he gives me a very long batting lineup. So, even the number 10 and 11 for me can bat. So, when we talk about across format, performance, then I think you need that. You need a long batting lineup. So I get that. I get variety in my bowling. I have a Marco Jansen. I have a Naseem Shah. I have a Gus Atkinson. So across different phases of the game, I have pace bowlers who can take the attack to the opposition. I have a Cam Green who can play that fourth seamer, can plug in whenever I need him to, can bowl those overs in between. And then I have, of course, Rashid Khan, the spinner. So that's my entire lineup SS. Now, I think we also have to talk about the 12th man and the captain, vice captain, coach.
So 12th man, I was looking at the areas where there is a deficiency. If something happens, somebody comes in, and I will pick Tristan Stubbs as my 12th man. The captain, as I already mentioned, is Harry Brook. Vice captain Rachin Ravindra, I think great deputy. I think he's already earned that bit of an experience. And for coach, I'm looking for someone who is now working with young cricketers, making them do well, has done some kind of coaching at the highest level. I think Ricky Ponting is doing pretty well, and I think he's well respected amongst the crop of players currently playing cricket. So Ponting will be the coach for my team.
Yeah, for me, when I look at my 12th man, I remember that you pointed out that Rishabh Pant might give up wicket keeping. So I wanted to have someone who can take up that role for me. So I'll go with Kyle Verine from South Africa. Again,
Hmm.
a very young player and has already shown that he can perform at the big stage. So really looking forward to what he can do in the coming years. So that's my 12th man. My captain is Rachin Ravindra. My vice captain is Rashid Khan. The reason why I go with these guys is because Rachin Ravindra, I feel, is someone who is very calm headed, has a really good temperament, and can think about the game very well. So he can be a very astute captain when it comes to tactics. And I think he would go really well along with who my coach is going to be. So I go ahead with Andy Flower, the coach. We have already seen what he has done across world with different teams. He also took RCB to a championship, the impossible task. He made
Yeah.
that possible.
He won even a series down under with England. That was also an impossible task.
Yeah. So I feel that combination of Andy Flower and Rachin Ravindra will be really good. Both of them looking at the game from a similar point of view. And I feel as we go forward, we look at the next 10 years, the entire analytics aspect of the game will also become extremely important and extremely strong. So I need a coach who can understand and who can direct the team in that way as well. And that's the reason why I didn't go ahead with my vibe pick coach candidate. That was Ashish Nehra earlier. So I rather go with Andy Flowers. That's my team.
Super. So just summarizing for our users, my 11 is Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rachin Dravin as vice captain, Jacob Bethell, Harry Brook as my captain at 4, Kamindu Mendes, Jamie Smith, wicketkeeper, Asmatullah Omarzai, Washington Sundar, Marco Jansen, Naseem Shah, Will O'Rourke, Tristan Stubbs as my 12th man, and Ricky Ponting as my coach.
For me, I go with the tried and tested players from India, Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill at the top of the order, followed by Tristan Stubbs, Harry Brook. Number
Yeah.
5, I have Rachin Ravindra, followed by my wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant. And then I have an all-rounder in Cam Green, followed by my bowlers Rashid Khan, Marco Jansen, Gus Atkinson, and number 11 is Naseem Shah. 12th man for me is a wicket keeper. So Kyle Verine, just to ensure that SS's point on Rishabh Pant giving up keeping is also solved for. And then my captain is Rachin Ravindra, vice captain is Rashid Khan, coach is Andy Flower.
Perfect. There you have it, guys. It was quite a fun episode to record. We'll publish this tomorrow, that's Sunday, on all podcasting platforms as well as on YouTube. Look forward to your comments, feedback, and please do like, share, and subscribe and distribute whatever content we are producing. Do check our website out. We are constantly publishing some blog posts over there, and we have got some interesting ideas around more content coming towards you. So, thank you all, and looking forward to seeing you next week again. Bye bye.